Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Expansion Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and Lights Insider Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, I'm here, and this is my 10th or 12th podcast this week. It's fine. We're on vacation. We're trying to really double up so people don't have to record next week. But you'll never know with the power of editing and scheduling. You'll only know if you're watching because we have the same clothes on.
Yes.
Should have changed my shirt. Should have changed to my other black plain t-shirt.
To another black one. Well, everybody, Corey, before we get going on the show, you want to shout out our Patreon producers because we got a really good topic.
Yeah, let me get there. So if you want to support Pow Block and Expansion Pass, you can head over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork to support us and get early access to 5 shows, as well as become a Patreon producer at the $5 tier. Yeah. Without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of Expansion Pass are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian Skipper, my wife, Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons. I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, all of our content remains free. We just offer some perks for those who are supporting us. If you do listen on free feeds, please leave us a 5-star rating review on your favorite podcast application. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, share with your friends, put it on your MySpace page, whatever.
A mess. Well, Corey, we was talking.
Oh no! Hold on, gotta take a sippy sip.
Okay.
These water bottles are filled too full. So like,
don't you hate that?
As soon as you take the cap off, it like oozes out the side, and now I have a big puddle on my.
Yeah.
I have nothing to wipe it up with either. It's fine.
Well, we were talking on a recent episode of Nintendo Pop Block, and Corey, we were talking. You brought up the point of length of games, and I know it's been a discussion before and stuff, but we kind of like enjoy games, or you kind of enjoy games that's like maybe 8 to 10 hours in
it's not
general.
No, hold on. Not what I said.
Campaign wise.
Not what I said. I said I get excited when I see games like that because it's going to take me a month. How long is Death's Door, Ed? How long did it take you to beat Death's Door? How many hours?
It took me probably about 35 hours.
What? You played it that long?
Yeah.
I don't know. My end clock time was like 18 hours, and it took me 3 months to beat. So, look.
it took me 35 because of...
Because you're a completionist, and you're super cool.
Yeah. And stuff. But, you brought this up, and you were just like, "Oh, this would be a good expansion pass." So we're going to be talking about what is a good length in a video game for us, kind of personally, Corey. Just like it, and this is going to kind of go beyond Nintendo, and I think it's because of the genre of games that we play and everything, versus on the full production of one particular game and stuff. Because I definitely, for me, I do enjoy a 40-hour JRPG, like, or if it is a action game or something like that, kind of 25 to 30 hours is something I do enjoy. So I do enjoy a longer game. I think for indies, I probably would say I enjoy a 5-hour experience with that indie game.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the game is, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Zelda, for example. I put 230 hours end of that game. Granted, my kids weren't born yet, but I mean, like, I played so much Zelda, and I could definitely play more.
Hmm.
um, but then there's something like, you know, Super Mario 3D World, and I think that game, unless you're going to be a completionist, I think that game you could probably beat. You could probably go from level 1 to beating Bowser, Cat Bowser in the tower, probably within 6 to 8 hours, I would say, right? I mean,
Yes.
if you're kind of mainlining it, and then the extra length of Mario games comes from being a completionist, doing the challenge levels and collecting all the stamps and stuff like that, right? So I think Nintendo generally does a pretty good job of like, hey, this is kind of how long the game is. You can make it longer if you want, right?
Hmm.
They do a good job of that. And so uh now with the new God of War game, haven't played it yet. I don't know. I just heard too many podcasts spoil it already for some reason, even though it's not out yet at the time of this recording. Uh
Like the ending.
like just story beats,
Oh,
characters, like you know, I listened to 3 separate podcasts today that spoiled a ton of different parts of God of War this week, and I'm like, they're like, no spoilers, but blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's a story beat, that's a spoiler, guy, and not that I like am big on spoilers or anything, but like if you're gonna say no spoilers and then the next sentence out of your mouth is a spoiler, maybe I don't know. But that's besides the point. Like God of War. Um, we'll talk about 2018, right? Like you can mainline
hmm
that story in probably, I would say 15 to 20 hours. I think you could probably mainline the story, but then like the challenge comes, or the length of that game kind of comes at like finding all of the collectibles and the chests and the fighting the Valkyries and upgrading your stuff and doing the end game type stuff. So I don't know how to tell you like how games are, like how long a game should be for my preference. I think it depends on the genre. I think it depends on, am I enjoying this game enough to where I can play it forever, like Destiny, right? And I know that's a different
hmm
type of game too, uh but then there's games where you just go in and you're like I'm just like super intimidated by it because it's so big and you can literally go do anything. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, like you look at that map and it is intimidating. You have to like really be in the right mindset to like go in and be like, okay, let's do this. There's question marks
And
everywhere.
and you gotta realize that that has to be like your only game that you focus if you're trying to 100% it, because it's just very overbearing and overwhelming with all of these quests that you don't have to do if you're not trying to 100% it. But if you want to get like better equipment or get stronger a little bit faster,
Mm-hmm.
you have to take on uh side quests. And
Mm-hmm.
the problem with a lot of these side quests in games like that, and I'm sorry, Assassin's Creed and Dying Light 2 and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's the same thing. Like there's a lot of repeats of the same thing happening.
Oh yeah,
So it's
Assassin's Creed is like the master of like disguising the repeatable mission to the point where you're like it's literally just, this person stands here, tells you to go to this point on the map. Either kill all these guys or open the chest. Go back to person. They pay you money, you get experience, you level up, you go do something else. You know? And but that's just like a Ubisoft game in general, right? You look at Assassin's Creed,
Mhm.
you look at Ghost Recon, you look at um Far Cry, like that's just the Ubisoft nature of things, right? Even something like
Yes.
Starlink really took that on too, where they just disguised the outpost as planets, and you could just fly to a different planet and do the same thing. Um, but
The
I
Division 2. Oof.
yeah I like the Division, but yeah, I mean essentially the same thing, right? It's they just gatekeep the progress by having you have character levels and gear scores and everything, but uh something, a game that's like super intimidating to me, right, is something like Skyrim or Fallout,
Hmm.
where you can, and I understand people really love games like that. I don't. I can't. At least Assassin's Creed kind of guides you in a direction, but man, it's just, oh man.
And and like of course Persona and Xenoblade Chronicles are like 100-hour RPGs because there's so much that happens, and it to me personally, it's the little story beats that don't play a part in the main story, but really kind of showcases the characters that you are playing, you are working with in those games and stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, it is to get sometimes a better equipment or better experience and money, but sometimes those cutscenes really matter because it shows you how that character definitely like was in the Blade Chronicles 3. Like I'm still playing it. Dude, I checked my clock today and it was at 98 hours and
Jeez.
stuff. And that it was a struggle with it because not a bad struggle. The struggle was I want to progress, but I want to do these side missions. And that's the thing that everybody had with this game. Because for a game like Xenoblade to only have 7 chapters and stuff, there's a lot to do before there's a lot of opportunities to do stuff even before you progress with the story. Like you could go from story to story to story, but
Hmm.
I'm like, there's stuff that you would definitely miss out. When I played Persona 3 Fest, I spent a month and a half, day every day, playing that game and stuff and doing side quests and understanding how the dungeon functionality works in that. It was really something that I've never experienced. Me and you played Destiny 2 when it came out. Um, Definitely, like when it released, we both were playing it, not together or anything, but we both were playing that game every day because I don't know about how you felt about it when it first came out. I felt like this was what Destiny 1 really should have been about, and it just drew me in. So when I got finished playing it, within I think I spent 2.5 weeks playing this game because there was so much to offer. I wasn't even thinking about the PvP stuff and everything like that. I literally was thinking about the main campaign and any side quest that I could do. You know.
Yeah, and that's the challenge Destiny has always had too, right? Is like, how do we how do we draw in players that don't care about the end game or rating or all that other stuff that I'm really into, right? But how do
Hmm.
we make a compelling campaign that people can play through, and when they're done, right? And so right now Destiny's kind of in a hard spot with that too, because they're in the middle of this saga that the first chapter doesn't exist anymore with Forsaken, and uh it's kind of like this huge story arc, and now each season of the expansion has its own little story that connects to the bigger narrative too, right? And it's like, now it's, if you're not playing every week or every season, you're just going to miss out on all this story stuff. And not that it matters to the overarching story all that much, but it's like you'll understand things better.
Hmm.
And so, the Witch Queen is the third part of, I would argue, a 5-part saga in terms of what's going on with the story currently. uh I mean, you could definitely say the 3 expansions from Destiny 1 feed into this too, right? But I think, how do you get someone into, it's weird because it's like, I guess if you compare it to something like Star Wars, I guess you would say,
Hmm.
how do you it's like if you took away A New Hope and just had Empire Strikes Back, right? And said, "Hey, Star Wars is just Empire Strikes Back on now." And You're like, oh well, what happened before? You know, um, okay, I guess it doesn't really matter, but it kind of does. You know, and you're like,
Playing
and
around with the context.
yeah, and you're like, well, who's this character they keep talking about? Because this character's been dead for a while, but I didn't get to play that part of the game, so I guess I missed out. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we were talking from our last expansion pass, kind of uh about PlayStation and having these experiences with the system and everything. And we were kind of talking about the stories that they tell and like for me, and I enjoy Sony PlayStation games. I really do, and I sometimes I feel like they prolong and stretch out that game for too long and everything. And I think that's why when the length of certain games from them just becomes a little bit obnoxious, because it's just like you had a great ending point with this, so you literally should have ended, but you're really just dragging this game out. It really makes the length of a game like that, or for some of the companies, just mind-boggling and just annoying sometimes. Um,
Yeah. No, I get it. I just I think I think there are just certain games that just aren't going to be for somebody, right? And
hmm
sometimes that's the struggle of hardcore gamers or whatever you want to call us, enthusiasts of the industry, where like we feel like we have to get our hands on everything and try to like everything or try to, and
Yes.
I mean us in the general sense, not just you and me, right? But like
Right.
you look at enthusiasts and they have to like try to touch everything and play everything, and like there's like Elden Ring is the biggest game of the year this year, right?
hmm
It was, even though I know that I don't really like Souls games all that much, it I really spent a lot of time this year focusing on trying to only buy games that I'm interested in. And Elden Ring was kind of like the first big challenge, right? Where like everybody's talking about this game. You know, people who like Souls games really love this game. It was really hard for me not to like try it out, but I knew I wasn't going to like it. So I was like, I backed up a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm not going to buy this game. Maybe I'll buy it on a sale someday, but I'm not going to go out and buy it right now. I'm not going to play it right now. And then you look in our one of the hundreds of group chats I feel like we're all in, where a lot of people bought it and they're like, "Wow, this game's really hard. I don't like it," or "This game's not for me," or "I'm kind of disappointed I spent $70 on this game." And it's like, yeah, because if you're jumping into this never playing a Dark Souls game, then like you're not gonna like it. And I'm
hmm
that's not a slight at anybody. In our chats or anything. It's not meant to be, and I'm sorry if you took it. Anybody that's listening took it that way. I'm just saying like this is the penult. This is like the ultimate Souls experience, and if you've never played one, then this game's going to be really difficult for you to enjoy. And I think there's a lot of hype around this game and a lot of positive reactions to this game that everybody just
Yeah.
kind of wanted to try it out and see what it was like. And a couple people got into Souls games because of Elden Ring, and I'm happy people did that. But
Yeah, but some people who play Elden Ring went into Bloodborne, which
hmm
which is which is good for them. And I think with me with that, like, cause I didn't pick up Elden Ring. I know it's not for me. I'm not knocking it or anything, but I people who know me, when I speak of Elden, or people speak of Elden Ring, I speak of Ghouls and Ghosts. Um um the new one, the new Ghouls and Ghosts that came out,
what
or
was
the
it called?
latest one,
Resurrection.
Resurrection. Yes, and I do that to talk. For me, it's about the difficulty spikes, where I feel like one is definitely harder, than the other. But if you love that difficult challenge, then you learning the Souls game should allow you to be able to learn the Ghouls and Ghosts series and everything. But if you play the Ghouls and Ghosts series first and then jumped into the Souls game, you kind of will see the difference of level of difficulty. And sometimes level of difficulty expands the game length and everything.
Hmm.
Because you have to with Goose and Ghost, you have to learn the patterns and you have to pay attention. And the mechanics that they give you were designed that way to really give you a challenge. That's why it's kind of interesting uh to see that people who love the combat in Souls games, but they can't grasp the combat of a action style game.
Yeah.
And it's just like I get the correlation. I understand why. It's because with with the Souls games, you are limited to your attacks to a stamina bar. In the action style games, you have no limit, but you have to memorize the combos and the timing and stuff. So
Yeah.
one seems more intimidating than the other.
Right. Yeah.
But
So,
the game lift in the action style game, could be 8 to 10 hours depending on how good you are. The Ninja Gaiden games on Xbox would literally kick your tail. If you thought that was an 8 hour experience, your first playthrough is probably gonna be 20 and up because you got to pay attention of what's going on, and you got to pay attention or adapt to how the enemies are attacking and you're counter-attacking and responding and stuff. And I think I think that's probably the thing about it, Corey. It's the first playthrough. You're always going to have a longer playtime than your replayability if
hmm,
you ever go back.
yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like if you have like something like Uncharted or Tomb Raider is a lot easier to go back and play through than
Hmm.
something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right? Who's gonna replay Assassin's Creed Odyssey? You know, I mean, I know there's people out there that do and that exists for them, and that's great. But like, you're more than likely to go back and play an 8 to 12 hour experience than you are a 200 hour one.
Right. And
So,
and and this, and I think the replayability with some of the games that, like you mentioned, Tomb Raider, I love going back to Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then when I was playing
still
Shadow
waiting
of
on
the
my
Tomb
Switch
Raider,
version.
oh, I would love to have it. It's funny. I was playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider on my Series X, and I'm just like, this is gorgeous. This should have been the way that I played this game. But I was getting quickly through it, and was just like, wait a minute. I thought this game was longer, and then realized that I had skipped all the side stuff and was doing the main game, and realized that, oh, I mean, because I had already beat it and my stuff carried over. So it was like a new game. Plus, I came to think about it, and I'm just like, with my upgrades and everything that I have, I kind of slashed my gameplay time uh with this thing. So me spending like 10 to 12 hours with this game because I was doing so much and getting everything, like I could run through this game in 5 to 6 hours on normal, and probably even quicker on easy and stuff. And it's just like I never thought about that of replayability played a part in people's gameness and stuff.
Yeah, man, man, we gotta. This is where like I want to play more games because I want to play through the Tomb Raider games again because they're so good. Maybe we'll play them on
Mhm.
stream at some point
Yes,
because
yes.
they're so good, and I mean I think they like I said on the last episode of Nintendo Power Block that we just kind of recorded before this. There's a lot of things that we kind of want to do, and there's
Hmm.
a lot of things that we want to change and do, but like I want to play games like Blue Stinger with you, and like dumb games that are kind of bad but also very enjoyable for people to watch because they're dumb, you know?
Yes.
So,
I have cold fear for Xbox, and I don't know what's backwards compatibility with the Xbox Series X or with the new ones. Because I bought the game used,
well, you can go to
and
xbox.com/backcompat and it'll tell you everything, Ed.
oh, I didn't know that. I need to check that out. Because so I'm looking at my closet that got my like Shun the Jump books and like my old games. Like I have Breakdown from Xbox. I have Black on Xbox. And I
Yeah.
forgot that I also bought that game on PS2. And I beat the PS2 version, but not the Xbox version.
I mean, they're the same game. They're just I think the thing that people love about Black is that it the sound design
Hmm.
was incredible on the Xbox, and like the textures were great, and it ran at a decent frame rate, I'm pretty sure, and the PlayStation 2 version was kind of like meh. But
Yeah, that ending though, I did not like that ending to the game.
I don't even remember
Uh,
it, so you're kind of
shoot, I still have my original Halo for the Xbox.
I do too. I have my Halo 2 Collector's Edition 10
Hmm.
that in college somebody spilt beer all over and got all these crusty things on it,
Uh,
and
oh
I can't clean
no.
it, and the plastic is kind of like ruined on it, but it's still there. It still works, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't checked. But that was a cool steel case.
Yeah, multiplayer of Halo back in the day. It was this so it was the SmackDown games on PlayStation 2.
Oh no,
Uh
here we go, wrestling.
uh Xbox was Halo. Uh, N64 was the world is not enough, the 007 game. Uh um
Agent Under
that's probably
Fire.
nothing.
Wait, for which
No,
console?
for N64.
Oh, GoldenEye? Everything or
No,
nothing. No,
the one that came out. The world is
the
something.
world is not enough.
Yeah, that one. I did
Because it
multiplayer.
was funny because GoldenEye came out for Nintendo 64, which was the first of the Pierce Brosnan game or movies.
Hmm.
Tomorrow Never Dies came out on the original PlayStation. It was a third person action game. And then The
Yes.
World Is Not Enough came back out on Nintendo 64, and it was essentially a GoldenEye clone, which was fine with
Yeah.
me because GoldenEye's awesome. But uh,
Uh, it it did GameCube. We did Mario Kart Double Dash. We did a lot. We did some other ones, but uh, that was during my JC Penney nights with my friends before they both left. Uh, and everything. Man, I swear the early 2000, the early modern gaming era of doing multiplayer and single player games, like you don't even think about time or gameness. I think that was the thing about that. We just were enjoying it and having so much fun. And I kind of felt like that it wasn't about a console war. It wasn't about PlayStation 2 selling this and Xbox selling this and GameCube. It was literally
it's
about the
because it
games.
outsold PlayStation 2 outsold everything, and it didn't matter.
But it wasn't, I think it wasn't a talking point to a lot of us. It was just like
No,
this is the
I think the console wars were over at that point because everybody just saw the
mhm,
'90s console wars as like Nintendo versus Sega, and then
yeah.
PlayStation entered the ring, and like I think a lot of people grew up playing Nintendo, wanted something more like the movies they were starting to watch or the TV shows they were
Hmm.
starting to watch, right? And that's where like the popularity
Excuse
of
me.
Final Fantasy VII really put that franchise on a map, and then Metal Gear Solid and Symphony of the Night and like all these more quote unquote mature games. They weren't cartoons like Mario and Zelda and Kirby, right? I mean, Metal Gear Solid is one of the most influential games of all time. Final Fantasy VII, as much as I don't really care for that game, like that game was super influential and super
Oh yeah,
important time and space, right? Um, so yeah, I mean that's just one of those things, I guess.
yeah. And like I said, we weren't just thinking about like the game lift. We were just having fun because when me and my two other friends was doing multiplayer games, it was about us interacting and having fun and enjoying it, and realizing that our 10 o'clock, 10:30 session has led us to 2:30 a.m. in the morning, like knowing good and well we got to be at work and set the next 6 hours and everything. It was just that kind of entertainment that we were getting, so we weren't thinking about game length and stuff. Now in this age, game length is something that people talk about, and that's why Nintendo Switch itself has become a lot of people's primary system because the game length that they're able to have and spend is because they're able to play that system on the go. The portable aesthetic about the Switch is what helping some older people get back into games and enjoy the creativity that is on that console and stuff. And it's just not from Nintendo and indie games. It's literally from third parties who've been ported some great titles that some people just haven't got a chance to play on other platforms or have never played on other platforms. We talk about Near Automata, and how many people have been enjoying that game and
Including
everything.
me. I'm really loving that game. I'm gonna be really sad when I can't play it on TV this week while I'm on vacation.
But it's still the fact that you're playing it
Hmm.
and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, one thing I was telling my friend, or one of the other associates, I still call him my friend, at work, that I hear a particular song in our store, and it makes me want to install Forza Horizon 4, and just spend countless hours driving, listening to the soundtrack. Because that's so good. I don't care about the races. I can win or lose them. Doesn't matter to me. I just love the driving aspect in it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I still play Breath of the Wild, right? I mean, I've
Hmm.
100% of that game, and gosh, one friend my one friend that I used to work with, Emily, is on her quest to find all 900 Korok seeds because she's done everything else in the game, and I'm like, I did that. I did that once. Thinking about doing it again, and she's trying to convince me to play it again before the new one comes out so we can talk about it. And I'm like, I want to, I really do, but there's so many other games coming out.
And one game, Corey, that we probably could agree upon about not worrying about the game length in time is Tetris. Tetris effect is, let me tell you. So side tangent, everybody. When Tetris came out on the Game Boy, when I first got my Game Boy, was into it before I even played Super Mario Land and Turtles. When Tetris came out on the NES, that was my comfort game. Putting 2 hours almost every day, besides Saturday and Sunday, playing Tetris after school. Um, when Tetris DS came out, got hooked right back into that system. Uh, Puyo Tetris. Corey loves the Tetris side. I enjoyed the Tetris side. We got to compete against each other still because I want to see
Maybe we do
who is
that. We
good.
should do that on stream at some point.
Yes, yes. But Tetris Effect, I I didn't understand why this game got its nominations at the Game Awards, and I didn't have no hate for the game. Just want to say that I think it was just too early that for that game to come out on PlayStation 4 to get that nomination, because it was just almost like 2 weeks after the game came out. It was a game nomination at the Game Awards. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But then Xbox players got it, And then when it came to Nintendo Switch, I had just been waiting for it. I'm like, okay, it's on Switch, but I'm waiting for a sale to go on it because it's Tetris, and I'm hearing you, Corey, talking about the game that you know the music, but you how you was playing it every night, and I was just like, okay, it's on sale. I'm gonna dive in, and once again got lost in that game because of the music being good, but it was still me focusing on making that line and getting those blocks in. And that's the thing about Tetris. I lose time in that game, so I don't even think about game lift or anything. It's about me seeing if I could get a Tetris or just being able to clear the line. And it's more of a thriller puzzle game to me. Uh because if I make a mistake and they don't send me the right pieces, it's just like, I'm trying to get this thing, and it gets faster and faster. I it gets very tense and suspenseful.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, video games, man, they're something, you know.
Yes.
I like I that's like a New Year's resolution for me. I think is to make more time for myself to play games and do things like that. And it's gonna be hard, but I want to play more games together also, and also
Hmm.
with scheduling that might also be hard, but that's something that I really really want to change and do for next year, with this. And I think that having a community driven thing, we can really build something more out of what we've already built, and
Yes.
really focusing on community game nights and having them be able to vote on games that we stream or play through, or that kind of thing. I think that's going to do something really special for us. So,
Yes.
also
I think
sorry
that's
everybody if you can hear my son in the background. He's not feeling great, which is awesome the day before we leave for vacation.
it, that's why I think the retro game show is so much fun playing with you, having me play and you watch it commentate it, and you supported me whether I die or not with your claps. The claps help me and everything. Uh,
Yeah.
it just gives me those good memories of being able to play a game, but I enjoy it better playing it around you or anyone else want to watch and stuff. Because I never got to play games with other people. It was like just me, the controller, TV, and the game. That was it
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's
So,
video games, man. They bring people together, you know?
yes, it does.
Who would have thought?
Well, Corey, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm starting to lose my voice. um, yeah. Whoops. But
yes.
yeah,
So,
I really
uh,
I just want to shout out everybody who's like listened to us for so long, and if you're new, you know, um I just I appreciate everybody who listens to us and doing things for us and with us, and it's just super fun. I do, even though I'm like half tired all the time. I really do enjoy doing this stuff all the time. So just thanks everybody who listens and continues to listen, and yeah.
yeah. Well, everybody, we are going to leave it at there. You know where to find us at. If not, watch some of our old episodes. Follow
Uh-oh.
us. Oh no.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Uh, Follow us on Twitter at Podblock Podcast. Check us out on Discord, our YouTube page, Boss Network, and check us out at bossrush.net for our other content. We are going to go back and enjoy our vacation, or depending on when this comes out, if you guys see it, the end of our vacation. Who knows? But we are away. We want to just wish everybody have a great week, have a great weekend. Enjoy the games that you are playing. Don't worry about the game lift, or if you are worried about the game lift, try to make some time for it. But then, everybody, we will see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.